In today's epic cringe video, Charlie Kirk and Vivek Ramaswamy ask very basic questions of a white dude for Harris who has no answers. And it's just, it's absolutely wild that people are willing to stand up to the world in front of look, Vivek is very famous. Charlie Kirk's got massive presence on podcasts and social media. And this white dude for Harris is like, let me stand here knowing that I have no idea what I'm about to say. I have no plans, and letting everybody know how stupid I am. It's remarkable. I'm going to play this clip for you, but we're going to talk about these white dudes for Harris. And in this epic takedown, we've got Charlie Kirk and Vivek exposing the cringe that is white dudes for Harris.
Wearing a white dudes for Harris shirt.
Yeah.
Okay. What is her greatest accomplishment?
Being an idol for,
They're booing him.
Tell me what she has ever done that you think is great, an achievement that she should be president.
Being vice president.
What has she done for you in the last 4 years to make you view her as an idol?
I mean, she's just the vice president. She can't do much. But
Wrong. She is the president of the Senate. That means she cast the tie-breaking votes, and she's done it 33 times. So, yeah, she can do a lot.
But I think just being herself, being a real boss.
Why are you voting for her?
Oh, just because I said she's an idol for the Democratic Party.
She said 4 years ago she wants to put
She's an idol for the Democratic Party. What? That doesn't mean anything.
tax on unrealized capital gains. In the
Me
Great
and you
Depression.
both know that's not going to
Now-
happen, so.
Well, so the things that she says she's not going to happen, that's why she's your idol.
What is the sales pitch for other white dudes that support Harris, would you say?
I would say because she's looking out for us, she's looking out for the country, and
What does that mean? She's looking out for the country. They're asking you, what is she doing? You're like, I don't know. She's an idol. She's looking out for us. Looking out for what? Is she standing there looking? Land ho? What is it? Is it a boulder coming?
she's an inspiration.
Do you believe that it is a disaster to select someone for the job based on their race and their gender?
It depends.
Because I'm actually talking about Tim Walz in this case.
Oh, wow.
Another white dude for Harris.
I have to say, he captured white dude for Harris energy perfect. Wearing a white...
Indeed, he did. Yo, look, it's selective. There are people that can explain why they like Kamala Harris. Now, I believe it's sophistry, because if you were to ask me, you want to go toe-to-toe with me, eh? I can make up whatever reason. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Let's talk about the things that Kamala Harris actually did. Now, we got this article from Slate. My rousing night at White Dudes for Harris. We are cringe, but we are free. Gah. Okay, whatever, man. I just got to, that cringe was I could feel it. If I wanted to say something in support of Kamala Harris, I would just talk about what she did and then say I support it. That's really it. Now, any sane person would know that what she does is something you don't want to be supporting, but sure, fine, whatever. Case in point. If someone said, what do you think is Kamala Harris' greatest accomplishment? My response is, and I'll say this, I mean this sincerely. I think it's a series of actions she's taken as president of the Senate. She has been functionally a senator, casting tie-breaking votes to pass legislation that the Democrats have been pushing for in the Senate and getting that to the desk of Joe Biden where he can then sign it. I mean, it's pretty powerful when you have a country this divided that as vice president, you basically make the determination as to what will be advancing forward to the president's desk. And she's done it 33 times. So I say, bravo, Kamala, bravo. You have done tremendous. It's that easy, right? And I genuinely believe that is her greatest accomplishment. And I believe that we, as those who want to see Donald Trump win, should be touting that. Why? Well, I don't know. The Inflation Reduction Act was one of these accomplishments. And that resulted in massive spending and higher inflation. So it's not something I would ever want to support her over. But it's fascinating that these people who are standing there saying they support Kamala Harris don't even know the basics. They can't even tell you what she's doing. Well, she's just the vice president, so she can't do much. Tell me, what does the vice president do? The Constitution names the vice president of the U.S. as the president of the Senate. So with a 50-50 Senate, she cast tie-breaking votes. I mean, I don't know what's going on now because I don't know, is Menendez still there? It's just kind of wild and whatever. But why? What do you mean you're free? Okay. If y'all don't know anything about what you're talking about, what is freeing about that? I guess fair point. The argument is you're free from thought. It's a remarkable thing to say that you are a slave or a puppet to this machine where you know nothing, but you're free. Okay. You're free from thought and personal responsibility, I guess. Well, not from personal responsibility, but from choice. Freedom from choice. It's what we got. How does the song go? Freedom of choice is what we want. Freedom from choice is what we got. Slate writes, if you want to witness visceral proof of the vibe shift scenting the air, a brilliant excitement emerging from the fatalistic final days of the Biden campaign, blah, 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 blah. White women answered the call, and then they did white dudes for Harris. What followed was a parade of liberal white guys of mild renown and the frontrunners in Kamala's notably low melanin Veep stakes, who appeared on screen to toast their brethren and offer a few words of solidarity to the masses. First off with Jeff Bridges, who joined the stream from a computer chair locked in deep recline. I'm white, I'm the dude, and I'm for Harris, he said. A woman president, how exciting. Yo, I don't care if, like, I'm for Tulsi Gabbard, right? But I'm barfing, a fake barfing, at the idea that he's like, wow, a woman president. Does that mean she'll be a good president? No. Then into rotation. Went to the perpetually nerdy Pete Buttigieg, who did a decent job of skewing the typical didactic policy-only instincts to much giddy energy in the moment. That dude is just so D tier. Sorry. Like, they keep trying to make Buttigieg happen. That's a D tier personality guy. I'm sorry. When I'm invited to an event called White Dudes for Harris, it doesn't sound like something I'd usually join, but this is a great cause, says Pritzker, one of the more honest moments of the evening. In total, White Dudes for Harris raked in $4 million. Wow. We'll see how that plays out. I mean, I'm not saying Trump's got it in the bag. It's looking pretty good for him, and Kamala Harris bombed that town hall, but hey. All right. They say in some respects, I understand why these folks are sensing weakness here. There's something definitely Hillary 2016-ish about White Dudes for Harris, with its emphasis on identity-based unity over clearly articulated transformational policy. Trump has soundly defeated this strategy before, and given how close the polls are, it's possible he will do it again. The MAGA confidence is not completely unfounded. But I tell you, man, something smells different this time around. You can sense it when you close your eyes. The Harris campaign has been around for a little more than a week, and thus far it's been singularly energized by the psychedelic cocktail of irony and enthusiasm fermented during the past year and a half, when a second Trump term has loomed like inevitably, and our incumbent has been visibly turning to dust. It has left me someone who is typically enthused by my electoral options utterly enthralled with the potential to deliver a mortal wound to this graceful chapter in American politics. Kamala Harris ain't going to be it. Sorry. Yes, Harris is younger and fresher compared with the ossified gerontocracy, and there is evidence that she might be quicker to embrace some progressive causes, blah, blah, blah. I just can't read this. It's just, ugh. Even the article is cringe. Dude, these guys, they have no idea as to how to actually pitch a candidate, okay? I don't know what's going on. Look, guys, you need to hire better campaign consultants, okay? Trump is an old man, but he's got people around him who are telling him how to get the job done. There are ways to improve Kamala's standing, despite the fact that, yeah, I mean, you can polish a turd. Mythbusters proved it. And Kamala Harris may be just awful, but come on. This is the best they can muster? White Dudes for Harris? Homie showed up, had no idea what he was talking about, and just flubbed the whole thing. Okay? How about this? You try, Kamala, you try to hire some good people. I'm convinced at this point that Kamala is actually trying to lose. I'm not kidding. I mean, maybe I'm half kidding, but you got to be serious. Okay. If they were actually going to spend billions of dollars, and they have, on winning an election, you'd think they'd get, I don't know, one or two people who understood basic sales and PR. You'd think they'd get surrogates who need to go, wow, I'm the dude and we're going to have a woman. Wow. I got to be honest, like maybe the consultants are like, listen, the only people who support Harris are really dumb. Okay. So you can't use too big of words. All right. If you, what's the right word? Polysyllabic. If you use, maybe poly. If you use, too many words, too big of words, then, they won't understand you. And so you end up with people like, I like Kamala because she's the vice president. And it's like, what does that mean? I don't know. And you're like, okay, well, thank you for coming and exposing that you are supporting someone because you're dumb. Now, look, We could talk about policy. We could talk about Kamala's position. And I think the one thing she really has going for her is that she cast tie-breaking votes in the Senate. And I think if Democrats really wanted to play this game up and you set up and said, I'm for Kamala, and they said, why? And it's like, well, look, her greatest accomplishments is her role as the president of the Senate. This is where she's been actively working for the past 4 years. And these have been policies that Democrats have been trying to get done. Now, many of them may not be perfect, and we are fighting back. This is, I'm not saying this is true. This is what they could say. You can hire a real consultant. We inherited the COVID economy. This is what I would say. I'll tell you what I'd say. I'd say, I understand people like Donald Trump. I understand people saw in 2019 great numbers. The economy was good. You remember it, right? Of course. How could you forget? I'm not going to try and convince you otherwise. But the COVID economy was bad, and a full recovery is not so easy to accomplish. But the Democrats had a plan. And these are things like the Inflation Reduction Act. Kamala Harris is the tie-breaking vote to make that happen. Now, I know many of you may still be saying, but grocery prices are no good. Inflation is up. That's because the recovery is still underway. Stay the course. We may be weathering a storm, but we have to stay the course. You can't get scared now. We have to make sure that these plans we've implemented work. Could you imagine if a white dude for Harris said that? Now, I'm going to be honest with you. None of that's true. After 3.5 years, if you can't make it work, I think you got to change course. But they can at least try to make the sales pitch. Anyway, congratulations. Thank you, white dude for Harris, for talking to Charlie Kirk. The reality is we need Donald Trump to come in and re-implement real policies, protect our borders, and the garbage foreign policy we've seen reignited under Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. We need to protect our borders specifically because of the economy, and we need better trade agreements. Thanks for hanging out. Smash the like button. Share the show with everyone you know. Follow me on X and Instagram @Timcast. Give us a good review, and we'll see you on the next segment.